And welcome everybody to another evening of 3 Points of Light. I am your hostess, one of your hostesses. My name is Darlene, Mama the Angel, and the other hostess is Jennifer Journey. So hey, Jennifer.
Hello, how is everybody today?
So far, very calm. It's been one of those weeks. We seem to be missing the third wheel on this 3 Points of Light, or should I say the third light. So that means I have to behave myself and I can't kick anybody out of the chat room. But I'm sure he will toddle along when he remembers it's Monday morning for him. He should be. Brian is not here right now, but then it's been one of those very extremely weird weeks. So I'm not holding anything saying that this week was a bizarre week. But today is Sunday. To some people, it's the beginning of a new week. So let's start this week off with a very, very interesting guest. Our guest tonight, is Jon, let me hope I'm pronouncing this right, Sabin?
Sabin.
Okay. I have seen you, I've sort of Facebook stalked you. And that's how I get my guests. It's the only way. I see people that sort of spark my interest, and then I listen. You have a few live videos, and then I dance in the room, and I joined one of your groups, and I like you're interesting. There, like some people are just like, but there was something different about you. So I kind of went, well, hello, my name is Darlene. How'd you like to be on my show? And you mistakenly went, sure, why not? I'm up for anything. I was like, you might regret it after this next 2 hours.
I'll let you know.
Okay. Private message me. I'm never doing this again.
Thanks, but no thanks.
It's nice, but not. Okay. All right. So for those who in the chat room who don't know you, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name's Jon, obviously, and I live in the UK, smack in the middle of the UK, right in the centre, in a place called Warwickshire. Crikey, it's hard when you want to talk about yourself. For 30 years, I'm sure people have read my bio. For 30 years, I've been in the entertainment industry as a professional compere DJ, working the stages all over the country and Europe for corporate events, from It's a Knockouts, Family Fun Days, awards dinners, game shows, all that kind of stuff. And things changed dramatically around the age of just before the 40s. I know I don't look old enough, but things dramatically changed. There was a big upset in my life, which was what I call my awakening as such, to get into what I do now. I developed very quickly, and I spent a lot of time, a lot of money and a lot of effort to do what I do now, which is I'm a spiritual medium, and I work churches, I do platform demonstrations, healing, one-to-ones, I now organise my own spiritual events, and a whole lot more.
Very cool. Okay. Well, this show, because you've been to just one of them before.
Yeah.
After you had said yes, and you kind of went, damn, do it again. I kind of pick at every aspect of your life, not just the spiritual side. So you said you used to do DJs, events and stuff like that. So what was your favorite type of music to play?
Oh, now that's a good one, because I do love all kinds of music. I'm very much an 80s man. I do love my 80s music. I like a nice bit of house. But a little bit of all sorts. I'm one of these people that will just flick some music on. Oh, to be honest with you, if I'm at home, I don't really listen to music. That's an interesting point. If I'm in the car, it's Radio 2, which is the station for people that are over 30. But yeah, if I had a choice, it would be 80s music. But I do like all kinds. So if I'm working, I'm very much a party DJ. And I play to the crowd, whatever they want, and I can play one of these guys that you can put into any situation and play a bit of everything from Asian weddings to Chinese to all kinds of different things. But yeah, 80s is the thing that I like.
Well, Marie in the chat room loves the 80s. And now this is what I know is a little bit about Eric. I know his pet peeve in music, but it's my favorite. Mine is Motown.
Oh, yes.
I am not. I don't know if I'm old enough to have enjoyed when it was in its heyday. Not a word from you, Scott. But but I love Motown. I love the music that has a feeling to it that you can. Not the stuff where you bang your head against the brick wall. I mean, I like but I'm not. I don't have one particular type of music, but like I can listen to pretty much everything. But that's for me. I have to have music. At my day job, I have to have music, otherwise I'll just go stark raving mad, more so than normal. But if it doesn't, it's got to have an upbeat to it. I don't mind mellow, soft, but it has its place. But if during the day when I want to keep me upbeat and keep my job going and keep my customers happy, because I'm a cashier, I have to be, smile's got to be on the face when people come in. Otherwise, my job is to make sure that everybody leaves with whatever the heck they want to buy, but with a smile on their face. That's my contribution to their day. And if I don't have music, and if I have just, like I live in Quebec, so if I have this certain type of Quebec music, would be what's called reggaeton. It's like hillbilly music. It just sort of grinds on my nerves really bad. So I'm turn the radio off if I can at that point. So music is very important. Cajun? No, I don't know. Cajun's yeah. Just so long as I don't have to swing my partner around and around. Okay. But yeah, so, okay, interesting. Now, you are married.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. To me, marriage is not a piece of paper, okay? You have a better half.
Oh, yes. Yeah, she's a lot better than me.
We always are. Hello. Oh, shite. We always are. Sorry, I had to hang up on somebody. We always are better. Husbands, although we're girls. Not that there's anything wrong with the boys. We like having you around every so often, but, good to take out the
trash. Love it.
I can change my own electric sockets, and I can, drill a hole in anything and hammer a nail, but, you're good. So, now her name is, if I remember correctly, Teresa?
That's right, Teresa, yes.
Okay. You have a PPI and you have what? Okay.
Yeah, I've just been looked at. She's like, oh, I've heard my name. Oh, yes. I'm going to look up now. Yes.
Okay. How long have you known Teresa?
Oh, I've known Teresa for a few years. We've only been together, unofficially 3 years, but officially, 2.5 years? About 2.5 years, yeah.
2.5 years?
Yeah.
That's not a long time.
No. She's
just getting you trained.
Yeah. She is indeed. She is indeed. But she's lovely. She's absolutely lovely.
Of course. We always are. I told you that. Never try and tell me. I'm always on the girl side. No matter how much I love the boys, they're on my show and in my life. Here we go. I'm always on the girl side. So, of course, she's lovely. Okay. So, you said... Okay, we're talking about music again. You said that something happened in your life. We'll say your aha moment.
Yes.
That let's say flipped on that switch for the spiritual side. Telling us what it is?
Oh, it's quite a long story. How long have we got?
You got 2 hours.
That's good. That's good. We might fit it all in just about. It's okay. I've always had people say that I can do this kind of thing, but I needed to be trained up. Ever since I was a kid, certain people, saw things within me. Didn't think anything of it. I got into my teenage years, carried on with my life. I had a reading with a tarot reader who said you should be sitting the other side of the table, and so on and so on. I just thought, yeah, whatever. You're just trying to get more money out of me, so carried on. I had a few sessions at a spiritual church when I had messages given to myself, which was really nice. Things that I wouldn't know, from a medium. And there again, you should be doing this kind of stuff, but you need to get trained if you're going to open the door and so on. They're all going to come rushing through. Took no notice of it. Obviously being in the entertainment industry, I was working in a nightclub in Tamworth, and the people that I met there were doing drugs, okay, and narcotics and so on. And I'd never really been into that kind of thing before, but gave it a bit of a try. Anyway, things carried on, and things, in the end, obviously, as they do with drugs, they go from bad to worse, and from worse to worse, and so on and so on. I started getting the paranoia that I wasn't alone. I could feel things, I could see things, and this got worse and worse. And this went on for a few years. And in the end, I had I almost killed myself a few times, taking drugs, all different kinds of things, from cocaine to ecstasy, they started doing legal highs, so I thought that would be better for me. I'd go on those. They were even worse. But life started sort of going downhill a little bit. I left my house in Warwick, and I went to live with a friend of mine. And I was still doing the drugs, and it sort of got worse and worse really from there. And it all sort of kicked off when I how can I explain it? It's like it all sort of kicked off when I really started to get into it, to the point that I was doing more drugs than anything else really. I would do it. It wasn't that I was doing it like on a daily basis, but I was a binge taker. So okay. two or three times a week, I would have very large quantities of stuff, and then I'd get in my paranoia state, and things would be happening around the house while I was on drugs. There would be things moving, there would be lights flying around, flashing, things knocking over, people coming in the house. I would set the house up with booby traps to catch these people that were coming in the house. But obviously there wasn't anybody physically coming in the house as such. And I used to set up cameras, video cameras, all kinds of things to catch whatever it was. And I actually caught a few bits this one day. I used to have a PlayStation long time ago, and the door, the tray of the PlayStation used to open and close on its own. And I used to talk to it and say, open and close, and it would open and close. And I thought it was very odd. So, still doing what I was doing, going into drugs, still doing more, losing relationships and all kinds of things. And then I had loads of other things, little bits that had happened. I was in a relationship in Coventry, and I was obviously having this more experiences with things that I could feel and see and all this kind of stuff. And this one day was really funny because I was stood at the bottom of the stairs, and she wanted to put some things in the attic, some boxes, and I was stood holding this box. And as she went up, she got her dressing gown on. Somebody had come up behind her and grabbed her dressing gown and pulled it away from her. And she turned round and started having a go at me, and I was stood 4 or 5 feet away from her. And I'm thinking, what is she going on about? But her dressing gown had actually moved, so there was somebody there doing this. So then I got into this state of what was the film with Jim Carrey in it? Do you know the Truman Show? Have you ever seen the Truman Show? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was Truman.
Okay.
in the Truman Show. So everybody else knew what was going on apart from me. Okay. And I was becoming the Truman, sort of working things out. They're involved and they're involved. And this was all to do with the paranoia of these people that were around, but I couldn't really see. If I was walking down the road, people would be looking at me, making a beeline for me, as if to say, we're watching you, we know what you're doing, and all this kind of stuff, bringing on the more paranoia. So yeah, I had a couple more occasions where I put myself into hospital, almost killing myself, 3 more jugs, and one of the best ones was I was at my mum's. I actually went back to my mum's, and I was homeless at that point, and I was living in the caravan out the front of the house, still doing drugs. And I had a massive argument with the girlfriend I was with at the time, and went on a bit of a bender. Now, at this point, it was all night. I actually shouldn't have been here. I should have killed myself, the amount of stuff that I'd taken. And I had this operation as such. I call it the spirit operation of how they wanted things to go. And I was laying there in this caravan, but to me, I was actually in a operating theatre. Okay. And they were operating on the top of my head, which was by the window. And all I could see was all these tubes and things coming out of my head. And people were coming up, they were banging on the window, trying to get my attention and this, that and the other. But there was nobody there. This was obviously what I thought was in my head, or was it? And there's a great little tale at the end of this as well, which is brilliant. And that was one of the second from last time that I actually got rushed into hospital with almost heart failure from the drugs. But while I was there was a shine behind me of the whole house of these prisms. It was almost like pyramid prisms, but they were all linked together in a big blanket covering the house. Knowing now what I know, that was the angelic realm and what they were doing and working with me and keeping me safe. But it was an awesome experience to have, and to have that knowing that's what it was now, which was brilliant. But this is all part of everything that happened. I ended up going into a mental hospital due to things that were around. There was so much and so many different stories that I could go into of things that happened in the caravan with spirit, to the point that these 2 almost like jellyfish, really big pure white pearlescent jellyfish, came in through the top of the caravan, floated around in front of me, and both went out the same way and left. I used to video the orbs. We've all seen orbs, on camera and stuff like that. I'd had so many videos of these orbs flying around the caravan. There was one time where they put me into a dungeon, which was a really wet dungeon. I thought I was just tripping out, but years later, a medium actually brought out and said, "You were actually put into a cell, into a dungeon." And it wasn't until that time, years later, that I realised that this was something that was possibly quite real, but not in this dimension or whatever. So I ended up into the mental hospital. I was in there for a while. I came out. Obviously, I gave up the drugs for a while. I then met somebody else. This is where I could start to see things a lot more now, and I could see people walk in front of me, just sort of like shimmers of people walking across in front of me. So I met this other lady, and she was doing drugs and drinking. So then I got back into it again, and things started going downhill again, and I started going back down that way. And then this one day, some really mad things were happening in the house. I could see this stuff and I could feel it. Nobody else could. But at this point, things started to happen that she could see, and she could feel and hear these things. We were having dinner one night. In fact, her son was having dinner, his chips down by the front of the television, and we were sat in the settee at the back, and he'd gone out the room to go and get some tomato sauce. And as he did that, there was a doorway in front of us, which was probably about 10 foot away from us. And this chip appeared from the middle of the door, like somebody got it in their hand, and they'd opened their hand and threw it, and it came down and landed right in the middle of us. And I sat there and I'm like, you saw that, didn't you? She's like, well, yeah, obviously the chip's there. And things like this kept happening. We had a cat. Yeah, we had a cat that used to sit in the doorway and used to wail and talk to somebody at 4 o'clock in the morning, every morning, bang on. And I'd get up, I'd get up and go and see what the cat was talking to, but obviously we couldn't see anybody. There were so many different things like that. We had a clothes horse that was in the corner of the room, that was full of coats and clothes and things, and it had 4 big bolts, 6-inch bolts underneath. Just literally broke on its own with the base still on the floor. We had TVs changing over and switching themselves over on their own right in front of us, which was really cool. And then this one day, a friend of ours was around, and the TV remote flew off the TV at her, like somebody thrown it at her. There was doors on the washing machine opening and closing in front of her, and she says, I'm not coming back in your house. And I said, well, which you can't blame her, really.
No.
And I said, well, look, I've rang a couple of mediums to try and get somebody to come round to see what's going on, because I get the feeling that I know that there's somebody here and there's something going on. So she said, well, I know somebody. I said, okay, well, see if we can get a meeting with them. So I went around to her house in the end to meet this guy, and he sat there and he said, he told me loads and loads of different things that was going on, things that he wouldn't have even known. And he turned around and said, this tingling feeling you've got down the side of your face. I said, yeah. He said, that's your granddad. He said, they've been trying to get your attention for quite some time now. I said, really?
Throwing tips at you.
Yeah. Oh, it was mad. But the one thing that really stuck with me about that, when I came out of the hospital, and I'd broken down before I went into the mental hospital, I was when I was in A&E, I had another one of these operations, but it was on my feet this time. And while I was sat in the A&E room, I had my brother sat in front of me and my friend Tina. It was like the floor, even though the floor was there, it had kind of disappeared, but I could see it. And underneath was an operating theatre. And they'd cut off the bottom of my shoes. They were pumping in good energy through the right leg and all the bad energy out of the left leg. This went on for a long time, and they even gave me a wheelchair to take me down to a recovery room. Why would I need to go to a recovery room? And why would I need a wheelchair? Which still baffles me today, how they would have known this. I broke down in there. Anyway, I then had, once I'd come out, I had, about 2 months later, well, this one night I was at my mum's, I had, really bad feet and I couldn't walk on my feet. And I said to Mum, I've got to go and lay down. So I went and lay down on my brother's bed, and something came in the window, sat on the end of my bed, sorted my feet out, and went off again. And this medium knew this, and he turned around and he said, how's your feet? He said, you've had an operation on your feet, haven't you? And I never told anybody that story. There's quite a bit more, but I just don't want to go on about it. But it's, nobody knew about that operation that I had in my feet, and he knew about it. And then he said, right, he said, they've been trying to get your attention for a long time. He said, you have a choice. He said, this is what you are meant to be doing. Do you want to do it? And as soon as he said that, I thought, if I can get to talk to my nan and granddad again, I'll do it. And I've never looked back since.
Wow. So that is like, I think that is the not that it's not belief, that I don't believe you, but I think it's the wildest that somebody's ever been able to recount that much. That or people just don't tell me everything.
Oh, there is so much more that I could tell you, but you've only got a couple of hours. So I'm writing a book with all this in.
Okay.
So it will all come out.
You now, when that book is out, I want a copy of it, and we'll have you back on.
Oh, you can have a copy. It's got everything. It will have everything in it, from the love story, the horror story to all the love and light that comes out of it in the end. It's when I think about it, where I was and what I've come through and come out the other side, I think how have I managed to do that? You know, but with the support and the love that I've got, you know, I can see with spirit around me and how much they've helped me, which is why I do the work that I do. They saved my life. They changed my life. And if it wasn't for them, keep persisting and coming through with what they needed to do, I wouldn't be here now.
It's like they kept smacking you in the head in so many ways. And it wasn't until, I guess you kind of opened that door with taking the drugs and everything else.
Yeah.
That it was like you let down a barrier maybe. And it was like, hello, we're here. Maybe we can get in closer, even though it made you think you were loopier than loopy, you know.
Yeah.
But now, how long ago was the, we'll say the last aha?
This was all back in 2012.
I really do love that year. I really do. 2012, because that's when I first started connecting on Facebook, we shall say. So yeah, very interesting years. Now, you and Teresa have only been together a couple of years. So what did she... Okay, how did you meet, and what was her reaction when you told her, you know, that part of you?
Right,
or did she meet you during? Yeah, I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm really good. No, as people say, as my husband says, you're nosy. But if I don't ask the questions, there's people in the chat room going, oh, I want that. So I try to ask them. So
okay.
What did her aside from going, what the hell's wrong with this boy? You know?
Right, you're going to love this one. Okay. The girl that I was with when the chip was thrown, okay, her brother was Teresa's fella.
Ew.
So that's how we sort of knew each other. But we didn't really sort of know each other as such, but I knew who she was.
You knew of each other.
Yes. And then it wasn't until it was my birthday, which is November the 14th, an awesome date. And yes, and I was invited, because I wasn't doing anything at the time. I was invited to a friend's birthday, and which was up at the club where we've just been up the road. And I went there to this birthday party to a friend of mine, Pauline's, and I got there and was having a nice evening. And Teresa walked in the door with her fella, as we thought at the time. And because we were the chill, we would sit and chat in, and he was at the bar, etc. Anyway, Teresa's father, who is passed, decides to come through to give some messages to Teresa at this party. So I'm sat there giving all these messages to Teresa. Teresa's bawling her eyes out because she can't believe that these messages are coming through from her dad. He's seen what's going on. Anyway, it's all started to come out in the reading that they're not actually together anymore. And they've just turned up at this party together just for show. So he's done a runner and left her there, which is apparently what he normally does. And that's sort of how it all sort of happened. So yeah.
Okay, so she hugged you and smacked you all at the same time after that little...
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Yeah.
So as Scott Stevenson in the chat room said, is she a light worker too?
Yes.
Aside from putting the light into your eyes.
Yes, definitely. Teresa is working. She works at her own pace, as we all do, because obviously she has a son and an awesome boyfriend.
We should ask her opinion on that one now.
Yeah. But yeah, Teresa wasn't really into this kind of stuff until I came along. But she's a very, very quick learner, and as you know, she draws spirit. She does the psychic arts now, which is really, really cool.
Never on doing Warn her.
Sorry?
I said warn her. I'm going to have her come on and do some art.
Yes, I did warn her. She did her first public drawing the other night, kind of. When I was doing my Facebook Live, she sat with me and drew in front of everybody.
I am going to have to go back and find that one.
Very good.
So when you told her that I was going to have her on my show, what did she say?
She sort of...
in the room? She kind of went,
yeah, kind of coughed a little and thought, oh yeah, whatever. But I think she's getting that confidence now, especially doing that. She did find that the Facebook Live was quite good, and yeah, it's building her confidence.
It's so long as she's comfortable. And wherever she does it, whether it's on Facebook Live, whether it's in your own living room or in a cafe or on my show, so long as you're comfortable, that's what, because you can go and do a show, and if you're not comfortable doing it, or you can go do it in somebody's house, if you're not comfortable, it's not going to be, as much as I, like to tease and poke, if my guests aren't comfortable, then I'm not doing my job correctly, because this is what this place is. Jennifer, myself, and Brian have made this place, hopefully, to be a comfortable and safe area. We have people who can come in and ask questions, even if they think it's the silliest questions. And this is why I like, to have as many people as I can to come in and ask the questions, and from novices to people who've been doing it for, let's see, what is it? I think Eric's been doing it for 30 plus years, and I'm being nice.
Wow.
But sorry, Twitter. I did not grill. I had Eric Flynn and Michael Rogers, and I did not grill anybody. Well, not much anyway. I let Eric do the grilling. Okay, Eric's been doing it for 53 years.
Wow.
Not going to say anything about that. But it's okay. He's still, okay, well, at this moment in time, we're not going to say whether he's the oldest or the youngest in the room. Okay. Eric did not get roasted. I'm not that bad. Okay, I could be, but I wasn't. Okay, so you do mediumship. Okay, what else do you do?
I'm a healer. I work with the angels, with the Angelic Reiki, which is very, very nice. I do help people develop as well. So I do work as a coach on all different kinds of things.
Before I forget, why do you consider yourself a coach rather than a teacher?
Because I don't teach anybody anything. I just help them to bring it out.
That answer. Okay. Because I have a friend who said teachers are supposed to know everything. They're supposed to not know everything. They're supposed to know the answers to the questions that they pose. So not everybody has all the answers. So this is why it's interesting when people say, I'm a coach or I'm a teacher. And that's like, okay, So go ahead.
I just help them. Spirits send me the people that need help. And if I don't know what it is, or I know somebody that does, so I just pass them on to them. But if Spirit usually send me people that I can help, whether that's to develop their mediumship or their life, or just to help them be more positive, whether it's through healing. I do Angelic Reiki courses that people come and do. I'm a master at the Angelic Reiki. But yeah, it's I'm there if it's just like that basically. Yeah, spirits send people to me, and if I can help them, I will. If I can't, I will put them in the right direction.
Okay. Nell in the chat room wants to know: Do you do this on Skype through chat? And how much do you charge? And we don't have to. If you don't want to say prices, that's fine as well. They could.
No, that's fine. I like to keep everything as simple as possible because I think life should be simple and everything should be simple. And charging was one of the most difficult things that I got to or tried to get to grips with this. Even though I'd spent a lot of money on my development and a lot of the time, and people always said, "You've got to charge, you've got to do this, you've got to do that." And now Spirit want me to work full time for them. Obviously, I have to live. But we'll always have what we need, but not what we want. But yes, I do help people online. In fact, I'm just about to start a spiritual development group on a little app that I've got, which is called Join.me, and once a week for 8 weeks. There will be a spiritual development course. Now, I call it a spiritual development course because it will be a lot of different aspects, from working with ourselves, our chakras, our own energy, connecting with spirit, connecting with guides, angels, right through to mediumship work.
Okay. Gemini Moon in the chat room says, Angelic Reiki. Could you speak a little bit more about this?
Yes. Hey, Gemini. How you doing? Angelic Reiki. Okay. It is the most perfect healing system, at this moment. Okay. In long story short, because I do like to do that quite a lot, you probably noticed.
You've got time. Don't worry. Don't cut nothing short. Got it on here.
It is perfect for the client at that moment for whatever it is that they need, because the angels do the work. All we are the channel, the conduit, the bridge. We have an angel assigns themselves to us as the healer. And that's the angel that we will work through with the rest of our lives with on the healing side of things. The angel merges with me and my energy, and I merge with the patient's energy and body. And the angel will administer the most perfect healing, whether that is physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, whatever. Yeah, in a nutshell, that's basically what it is. And it's fantastic. It's so powerful. I've had different healings before, from crystals, spiritual, Reiki, all that kind of stuff, and I've never felt anything as powerful as the angelic Reiki.
Now, Angel, I know a little bit about Reiki, but angelic Reiki, you can do this distance-wise as well.
Yes, you can, yes. There's so many different things that come with it, but the best thing is, even though we're sort of trained in all the different things, from the different dimensions, to past life stuff, to distant healing, third eye healing, all different kinds of things, the angels know exactly what that person needs. So obviously, if we're doing distant healing, they'll know before that we're going to be doing distant healing, and they will work that bridge.
Yeah. Okay. Eric Glenn in the chat room says, so what is the difference between angelic healing and spiritual healing? Isn't it the same?
Yeah, I mean, it all comes from source. But with the angelic Reiki, you've got that personal angel that you work with. We also work with ascended masters, which we can call in. We work with galactic beings, which for me it's Atlanteans. We also work with our soul groups as well, and they also do that extra bit of healing as well, which is very powerful. And you can only do that for 10 minutes within the healing session.
Okay.
But yeah, in a nutshell, it all comes from source. But it's, like crystal healing, which is obviously more earthly stuff, but you still have spirit there working with you. And the spirit doctors, etc. With the spiritual healing, you still have certain guides and certain doctors, on the spirit side of life that are there working with that pure white light that comes from source. But yeah, it's all pretty much the same. But it's what people are drawn to, There's certain people that are going to be drawn to certain things to do that work.
Okay. Second. This is a question from outside of the chat room. Somebody was listening in. If somebody is, ill, physically ill, and the doctors keep trying and trying and trying, and they just can't seem to get their shit together and get this person well. Okay. Mm-hmm. Always something pops up that goes wrong that just, okay. And is there some healing that can be done to help this person? Because she doesn't want to have surgery.
Okay.
But she wants to heal.
Okay.
It's like, well, two sides of a coin that need to meet, but she's, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
I think so. I think so. She doesn't want to have the surgery, but she wants to be healed. Is there something that she can do?
That she can do other than having the surgery that Angelic Reiki can help with?
See, there again, with the Angelic Reiki, it's perfect in its conception at that moment for that person. Mm-hmm. So if the angel decide that it's going to happen on a physical level, mm-hmm. Then yes. But obviously we don't know what the angel is going to do. Yeah. Because they already know. They know before even doing it what's going to happen for that person. Okay. But when we work with cancer patients, and the cancer has been seen to be shrinking, but it's also doing spiritual healing. It's the same with pretty much everything really on that respect of it. But if she wants to be healed, she's automatically already set that intention of wanting to be healed,
Exactly.
We always say possession is 9/10 of the law. With me, intention is 9/10, in that side of things. It's really, really good. Yeah. For somebody that's, especially for an operation, mm-hmm. That's the start of it. There's so many different things that are out in the world at the moment that make a whole. And if having some angelic Reiki or some ordinary Usui Reiki, spiritual healing, changing diet, looking after themselves, changing their whole person, things about them, is also setting them on that road to recovery.
Mm-hmm. Now, we're going to go on this, maybe out of your thing, but it's popped in my head, out of your realm. Mm-hmm. Not on topic. Do you find that sometimes that no matter how much the person wants to be healed, okay, this person needs surgery, needs to be healed, but she's also going through a lot of trauma. Mm-hmm. So could one be blocking the other?
Oh yes, definitely. Definitely. Everything that comes into, for me, everything that comes into our life comes in for a reason, as we know. Mm-hmm. So whether that's illness, something that we need to learn about that illness, whether it's to become healthy and how we're going to do that, do they have an operation, and so on and so on. But it's all there for a reason. We've just got to work out what that is. But we've also got things that come from people talk about past life karma that comes through to us. Mm-hmm. Family karma, lineage karma that comes from our family line that also can come out. For me, some great examples with my own physical body. With I used to be fit and healthy up to a certain point. And I started, and different people that I met, I would start having different things. There was a spout of girlfriends that were in the past that at the time of bad relationships that I was having, I was eating not so good food. And now, in this time of my life, I'm now having stomach issues with certain foods that my body is saying, well, hang on a minute. You were eating this stuff when you were having a really bad time, so I'm going to really give you a really bad time at the moment, So yeah, blocking certain things and so on, especially with healing ourselves and stuff as well. It's for me, it's a point of getting back or finding where those issues began and how they were and resolving those issues on a metaphysical health kind of level.
Eric is leaving. He's like you. He's over in the UK. He's got appointments tomorrow, so he's wife is sending him off to bed. Actually, it's probably his cat. Okay. When you... Okay, sorry, I almost missed Scott. Let's see if I can read this without stumbling over my words. So it's into the realms of what most healers of whatever flavor do in complement to orthodox therapies, medical treatments. Sometimes people choose to go to a healer rather than to a doctor. We should be working alongside the doctors, and that's his opinion. And mine as well.
Yes, definitely.
I think that it's something that, yes, that there are doctors out there now that are open to the healing. I do remember seeing something, I think it was in Spain, where the doctors come together before operation and pray and send Reiki to each and every member of the team and to the room and to, so I think it's out there. It's actually, in certain parts of Canada, Reiki is actually covered, it's considered as an alternative medical treatment. Mm-hmm. So it's covered by insurance. So it, but those people, they have to have all their I's dotted and T's crossed and the documents and forms and blah, blah, woof, woof. But I also know that over in the UK, because I have quite a few friends over in the UK, I think eventually I'm going to have to live over there. I'm coming, Scott. Nah. Sorry. That you have, as a Reiki practitioner, have to have insurance. As a Reiki master, you have to have insurance, because if you're a teacher, which most masters are, when they teach, they have, and if their student makes a mistake or does something wrong or something happens, then they can come back on the master, so they have to have insurance. Here, not as much. I think there's a if you don't actually physically touch, then you're fine. But as soon as the moment that you put your physical hands on the person, then you have to be covered by insurance. I could be wrong on that part. So there's a lot of things that we need to, I think the MD doctors and the spiritual doctors need to finally get together. So I'm agreeing on that one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're not doctors, and as much as we trust and we know, how angels and spirit work, you still have to say to every patient, consult your doctor. Your doctor. As far as in the UK, it's like complementary, it works alongside with, other doctors, if anybody comes to us, say, you still have to go and see your doctor no matter how small or large it is.
Yeah, exactly.
And insurance, you do have to be insured. We're part of the BCMA, which is the British Medical, BMC, I think I can't remember what it is now, BCMA, British Complementary Medical Association, which is good.
British Complementary
Association, yeah, something like that. But yeah, that's it. We're a part of that as well, which is really good and really good for the Angelic Reiki Association. But yeah, with Reiki and all the different kinds of healing, as good as we know that it is from our experiences, it's I say to everybody, make sure you do consult your doctor.
Again from Scott. Our organization's healers have been sued very often by bereaved people, saying, Mabel came to you afterwards, she died, it's your fault. Doesn't matter that people usually only come when they are at the end and exhausted all other avenues. Yeah, that's why, again, everybody should work together. Because you don't, when you go to specialists because, your back hurts, but then the back specialist sees something that might be in your feet, so you go to a podiatrist. And so why not use everything that's available to everybody, and including, spiritual healing? Yes, dear.
Yeah, very much so. And like you say, it's becoming a lot more now as well, which is good. You know, there are certain doctors that are not advertising, but recommending to people to go and see a Reiki practitioner. Which is really nice. One of my friends tonight that we've been, she works in alongside with Mighton Hospice doing Reiki, which is really good.
Yeah. Well, I know that when I first started practicing Reiki, my husband got ill, and I went to visit him at the hospital, and I went to give him a treatment as well. And he's like, "We're in the hospital." I went, "Yes." He goes, "Well, somebody else see." I went, and I didn't care. I don't care what people, think of what I do and who I am. It's like, your problem, not mine. And as I was starting and setting up, his nurse came in and she goes, "Oh," she goes, looks at me, she goes, "Are you doing Reiki?" I went, "Yes." She goes, "Oh, okay." And she backed out of the room. She turned off the light and she goes, "I'll come back in a little bit." And I was like, and my husband was like, "Really?" I went, "See, it's not so bad." It's not as people, because like I said, before I started, before I knew about Reiki and everything else, I didn't know, but it was out there. But as soon as it opened up to me and I found out about it, it was like you sort of start seeing, okay, people are talking about it over here. And it's like, how come I never heard that before? It's like one little door opens and they all just sort of, like a domino effect, they all sort of continue to open up. Quite a few are training to be healers and giving it in surgery. So 2 counts of placebo effect on top of energy transfer. That misunderstood. Okay. Need to have bigger print. Actually, that's my opposite. Again, I didn't have my glasses on, so I'm going to have to make it bigger print so I can read better. There we go. Oh my God, that's scary. Quite a few are training to be healers, too. Yes, there's a lot of people training and giving it in surgery. So 2 counts of placebo effect on top of the energy transfer. I still don't get the placebo effect part of it, but I'll probably read it later and go, that's what he meant. We all feel better going to the doctors, and we all feel better seeing the doctor. Placebo. Okay. Yeah, I guess you could say that. So long as it works, placebo away. So long as it does what it's supposed to do, so long as people get the help that they're supposed to. But, well, Gemini's got the contradiction on that one. She said, no, not really. Haha. Go ahead. Have at him, Gemini. Go for it. But, so when somebody comes to you, do you deal with bereavement as well for people who are struggling with the loss of a partner or a parent or a significant other?
Yeah, I also work with people that are getting ready to pass as well. Okay. Which is really interesting. And my first case, which was probably my first and only case, let's say, because I did the course last year, and it's all part of the Angelic Reiki extension, and it's called Healing for the Soul's Journey. And I did this course on how to work with people that are getting ready to pass, those that are dying, and working with their families. And obviously, when the body dies and the energy leaves and so on, we help the energy leave, and to closing down the body afterwards, and so on and so on. And obviously, being there for support and stuff with the family. That was really, really interesting. Because I did the course. My mum hasn't been well for years. She's been bedridden for almost 10 years. She's had cancers galore. She had 36 different things going on with her. And I did the course, and I straight away I was like, right, my mum's going to be my case study. She's going to go sooner or later. And Spirit came and said, no, you're not to do any of it on your mum. And I was like, okay, well, that's a bit odd. I'd have thought she would have been, a great person to sort of to work on. And this is how clever they are. Spirit is just so clever. I never did anything with my mum until It was about 2 weeks before she passed. She kept in and out of hospital all the time, and she spent quite a bit of time 2 weeks beforehand in hospital, and she completely disappeared. She was there in her shell, and I saw herself stood next to her, but 30 years younger, and I thought, okay, she's off travelling somewhere. So I was told my father, my stepfather, and people that were there that she's here, she's off doing whatever she's doing. 4 days later, she woke up in the morning on the Thursday morning, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, just like that. She goes, I'm back. And I was like, oh, okay, so where have you been? She goes, she was telling us that she'd been off travelling in the woods and all these different kinds of places. But she was like a child. She'd got the energy and the mentality of an 8-year-old child. It was the strangest thing. And the doctors just didn't know what to do. We'd got everybody in because we thought that she was going in those 4 days, you know. And they were just like absolutely gobsmacked at what was going on. So there's nothing we can do. All we can do is send her home. Mum's always said that she wanted to go at home. So upstairs would give her enough energy for this to happen so that she could go home. As soon as she got home, she started going downhill. I think it was on the Friday. On the Sunday, she was sort of in and out here and there. The Monday morning, my friend who works at the ambulance station rang me up and said, there's 2 ambulances gone to your mum's house. I was like, okay. I went round and she was completely back in this state of just a complete shell, just laying there, but just breathing. They couldn't resuscitate her. I sat downstairs for a while the ambulance people were there. I managed to get some time to go up. And then I had to rush off. Work had rung me. This was when I was still doing the events. And they'd rung and there was an event that was down in Silverstone. And they said, you're supposed to be here. I said, I'm not. You haven't booked anything. Anyway, Spirit obviously did it exactly. Perfect timing so that I wasn't thinking about anything. So I ran off, did this job, left there, came back. Mum was still in the same state. As I got back and walked in the room, Spirit turned around and said, now you're going to work with your mum. And I was like, right, okay. So everything that I'd learnt in this Healing for the Souls journey, all just came rushing back into my head. And I was then going to work with my mum, with her passing. But I had to go and do a church service over in Bedworth. So I said, can I do all this when I get back? They said yes. So I went off to do the church service in Bedworth, which was a really good night, and headed back to my mum's house. She was still in exactly the same state. As I walked in the room, the very strangest thing happened. My stepfather got up from the chair that he was sat next to and said, you need to sit here, and walked out, as if he knew that I'd got work to do. It was really strange. So I sat there. I explained to my mum what was going to happen. I did all the sacred space and I did all the ceremony to open the space, protect it, and so on and so on. Sat there with her for a bit while, brought all the energies in that we do, and the healing that we were doing with the energy and the body itself, and explained to her that it's time for her to leave her body very soon. And then I was told, after about an hour or so of doing lots of different things, chatting to different spirit people and angels, they said, now it's time for you to go. And I was like, right, okay then. So I gave her a kiss, left her where she was, went downstairs, chatted to the lads, and said, I've got to go now. Call me if there's any change. So I left the house. Teresa just moved into a new place in Warwickshire. It was our first night there. Got back there, told Teresa all about it. We got into bed, and I was just about to drop off to sleep, and my guide's face came right in front of me. And as he did, he looked at me, smiled, his face moved away, my mum's face then moved in, right in front of me, smiled, the phone rang. It was my dad. He said, your mum's gone. I said, oh no, she's here. I said, I'll be on my way back over. Got in the car. Mum was sat in the car with me, talking to me and thanking me. And I was so stupid, thanking her. Got back to the house. She's quite a character, my mum, quite a character. I got back to the house, and obviously everybody was in a bit of a state, and I went up to see her, even though I knew that she wasn't there.
Yeah.
But I still went up to see her, and everybody was in a complete state. So I sat downstairs and left them to do what they needed to do. Finally managed to get my brother out of the room because he was just literally obviously looking at a shell, you know. I said, mate, she's not there anymore, you know. And he finally went downstairs. And that gave me the time to finish my work, of getting the rest of the energy that was left out of the body, closing down all the chakras, cleansing the room, and so on and so on. And to actually work with my mom, which I always wanted to do, but Spirit kept me so busy, so I didn't think about it. I didn't know when it was going to happen. Was absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. And I was so privileged and so humble to be that person to help her with her energy. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I think it was, I think it's awesome, first off, that your mom drove in the car with you back, and you were fussing at each other, which is totally mother-son thing.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying. I've never trained. I think it's interesting that there's a training to help you understand how to help people to cross over to make that transition. My mother passed away last year, and she, like you were saying, your mom was not there, and then she was off traveling, and then all of a sudden she was back, and she had the energy of, you know, and I spoke to my mother one time, and because we don't live close enough for me to go see her, so my brother was visiting her in the hospital, and I said, cell phone please, put it to her ear, you know, and I had my little conversation, mother-daughter conversation. And I said, Mom, whenever you're ready, you know, that you can go, that, oh yeah, we'll hurt like hell, but we'll be fine. And, you know, I know that you'll be here. And, you know, that was it. The next morning, my brother called me up, and my mother was like her same perky little self again. And, you know, still a little confused because she was having confusion problems, but like almost back to normal. You know, and she was talking, she was eating, because for 2 days previous to that, she wasn't eating. The doctors were worried and everything. And then for 2 days, she was, you know, sitting up, eating, having her coffee, complaining about her neighbor in the same room, and yada, yada, yada. And then she, you know, she lasted about 2.5 days, and then she started to go down again. And on the 19th of November, this is not a secret. Most people in the chat room know. On the 19th of November, I called again. My mother was going down. And I spoke to her again, and I said to her, I said, Mom, you know how really bad I am with dates. Really suck, and I'm crappy at it. I said, so do me a favor. 20th of November is my birthday. I said, give me that as my last gift. Let go. Stop fighting. Because it's not doing you any good, and it's not doing us any good. And have a good day, Diane. And so I said, I love you, and I always will, and I know you'll be with me forever. Just because your body's not there, it's not the same thing for me. And that was the 19th at about 8 o'clock in the evening. And the next morning, my phone rang at 7:45, I think it was, and it was my brother, and he says, Mom, listen to you. And I was like, I'm just waking up. What do you mean? What do you mean, Mom? She's gone. And instead of the sadness overtaking me, the first thing out of my mouth was, so much for a private conversation between a mother and a daughter, eh? You know? And, but, you know, that was, so that is, I made sure that I will never forget that date, because I really am bad with dates. You know, if I don't write it down 101 different places, 101 different times, I won't remember it. So this is, how can I forget my own birthday? There are times I'd like to, you know, but, so it was my last birthday that was my gift from.
Wow. Lovely. Absolutely lovely.
Yeah, but you know what? I know she is, as much as it hurts. You know, I know she's better off where she is, and I know that she's causing a fuss up there. You know, because before she left, her brother passed 4 months before her, then her sister 2 months before, and then my mom. So the
Wow.
whole family is up there. You know, and so I know it's like I said, it's my family has French heritage, so there's like a major, I think, 365-day New Year's Réveillon, which is where they all sit down and eat and have a party and talk, and just then the guys leave the kitchen, and the women would wash up the dishes. And so, funny enough, somebody had given me a reading after my mother passed, and didn't know it was my mother. It was just, I think it was somebody on the show I had as a guest. They said, "There's a woman here," and she says, "She's handing you a dish towel." And I was like, "Okay." And she says, "We still do dishes." And I was like, in my head, I'm going, it's my mom. And I'm going, can we at least have a dishwasher in heaven, please? I want to do dishes. But that was something that we as a family would do. The guys would go and chit chat in the living room, and we would each have something to do. One would wash, one would dry, one would put away, and you know, it would be like an event for the ladies. And that's when we would, for chit chat and whatever. And that was something that I don't know if all families do that, but that was like something that was just sort of like, when that was said, I knew it was my mother. There were little different things that I knew that my mom, you know, came to visit and came to, you know, let me know. It's just sort of like the smack upside the back of the head sort of thing. But yeah, so that's great that we get to have that last moment of hurrah with our parents, with our moms. But
Yeah, definitely. We had to, when everything had sort of calmed down. We were all stood in the kitchen downstairs, and we were all chatting and having a bit of a laugh. And all of a sudden, I saw my mum come down the stairs and walk across the hallway and went into the front room. And she went and spoke to James, our younger brother. And then she comes out and walks into the kitchen. And I can see all this through my mind's eye, not physically, but through my mind's eye. And I said, she's here. She's here. And this was probably the most amazing thing for them all to experience, which was really, really cool. Because they've all seen how things have happened with me over the past, from the mental health and this, that and the other, and what I do now. I've got one brother that's very much doesn't like the stuff that I do because of the way that he saw that I was, and et cetera, et cetera. The others are coming round to it all. And she came into the kitchen, and she started giving messages to all the lads in the kitchen, which was hilarious. And we found that she told us that my other brother, who used to be quite promiscuous, had got another child somewhere. So we're absolutely howling in the kitchen because my mum's bringing this information through that he'd got another child somewhere. The message for my stepdad was just absolutely mind-blowing. We were all in bits, but laughing. It was so funny. And then all of a sudden, she moved into the centre of the kitchen. And as she moved into the centre of all of us, my nan and granddad appeared behind in the corner. My stepdad's mum and dad, our other nan and granddad, they appeared in the other corner. And the energy in the kitchen just lifted from just below our waist, to this immense feeling of tingles and love that we all felt at the same time, coming up through our stomach and up into our heart area and up to our chest. And everybody stood there and went, oh my God, can you feel that? And I was like, that is just absolutely amazing that they all had the same feeling all at the same time. It was wonderful.
An energy vibrational hug.
Oh, it was mad. It was just one of those things that I couldn't have asked for anything more for them, you know, because it's
like such a major confirmation without even asking for it. It just happened.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, but yeah, that's the way, you know, family is, you know, when we don't think about it. Now, you said that now, one of my friends in the chat room, her husband passed. And I called him my ray of sunshine. I knew him for such a short period of time, but his birthday was the same day as mine. You know, some people will know who I'm talking about. If they want to chime in, they can. when he passed, he was very ill. And his daughter, she sees spirit and hears spirit. And she is so heartbroken that she cannot feel her father, that she cannot hear her father. And I told her that it's because she's trying too hard, that she wants it too much, that when it comes to, it's like, physician, heal thyself, but you can't because you're too focused on what you want, what you need, but actually what you want, not what you need. And so have you come into that where somebody is wants it so much and they just, it hurts them so that they can't deal with it? Why is it I can hear Tom, Dick, and Harry, but I can't hear my own dad?
Yeah, and so many other things as well that come with that, even with sort of development as well. There's so many people out there that want it so badly to have spirit appear in front of them and say everything's going to be all right. It's a lot of time it's not going to happen. And with people like that poor little girl that sees, but wants that one person to come through, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to happen until they just let it be, and it will be at the perfect moment for everybody involved in that. It's such a shame. But yeah, there's people that even come through for readings, and they desperately want that person to come through. It's a big old universe out there, you know. They may be busy elsewhere, but yeah, you're dead right. Just wanting it too much, it can put that block on it.
Okay. See, I was right, Nana. But I think. Hold on a second, Mr. Stevenson. Are you the only one in the family into this sort of stuff, or do you have witchy ancestry / family?
Ah, good question.
Remember
I have
these
been
questions,
told.
Scott. I'm going to use them on you next week.
Oh, it's Scott on next week. Oh, well, I'm going to come and watch next week.
Yes, you will. You will.
Brilliant. Yeah, I have been told it's on both sides of the family. My mum, we always used to call my mum a witch because she knew everything that we were doing. Even when we were kids, she would put us up against the wall. My mum brought 3 boys up on her own. And,
she's a goddess.
Until she met my stepfather. There was the 3 boys, and we were. Yeah, then she had another boy, yeah. She didn't see that one coming. But she knew everything. She would put us up against the wall and she would quiz us, and she would literally tell us what we'd been doing. Spooky stuff. But yeah, apparently it's on my mum's side. I didn't really see it with my nan, so I don't know whereabouts it came from there. But I've also been told it does come from my father's family as well, who are all Israeli. So I don't know whereabouts it comes from in there, because I really don't know them. I've only seen my real father a few times. We are back in contact now, but where it is on that side of the family, I do not know.
And for some reason, the Israeli part does not surprise me. I don't know why.
Is it the nose, do you think?
Oh gosh, no, I never saw the profile. Okay. We see the face. But next week we're gonna roast Scott for sure. Barbecue.
Brilliant. Oh, I shall come and watch that one, definitely. But yeah, at the moment, it's only myself within my immediate family now that does anything like this.
Scott says in the chat room, there's a belief that the 13th tribe of Israel came to the UK / Europe and was the Celtic people.
Wow.
A very big
Brilliant.
Source of information.
Excellent.
Little bits and pieces he gives out here. But, okay. Do you do, I know we spoke before we started recording the show, and you had a spiritual supper.
Psychic supper.
Psychic supper, okay. And I said, what is a psychic supper? And you said it's like, not useless, darling, it was very important. It's like speed dating or psychic dating or kind of. So how did you enjoy doing that rather than, we'll say, one-on-one readings?
Yeah, I was running this one, so I was it was my event, so I wasn't actually working as a medium on this, but they are very enjoyable because you do get to sit and have kind of a one-to-one with a lot of different people in a short space of time. For anybody that's listening, the way that it works is, excuse me a minute.
Get that together.
The way that it works is that people come in, we'll have a table of about 6, 7, 8 people. A medium will sit with those people for 20, 25 minutes. The bell will ring and the medium gets off and moves to the next table. This will happen 3 times, so a medium will sit on 3 different tables within the allotted time. But it's for me, I love those events because you can reach, sometimes you can literally read for 4 or 5 people within that 20, 25 minutes, maybe more, depending on what the quality of the messages that is coming through. And 9 times out of 10, everybody gets a message, even though it's not guaranteed. Yeah. But in those kind of events, you are pretty much, I would say, you're going to get a message of some sort, and that's why I like those events more than the demonstrations.
So demonstrations are when you stand on the podium and sort of like a church service. Yes,
yeah, we do demonstrations up to 100, 150 people.
I've seen them on YouTube. I've never been to one. Yeah, so I think that's interesting. You mentioned you do church services. I've never been to one, but our friend who left the chat room, Eric Glynn, he was ever so kind one day, and he did a spiritual service here on our show. And I think it took a little bit longer to do than normal because, he had to explain what he was doing because we were all newbies to the whole fact. And I liked it. I enjoyed it because it was something that I'd never been to. I was born and raised a Catholic, and I went that route, and I have no idea where the heck I am. I'm just me, but
best way to be.
Yeah, you can't change me. I'm perfect just the way I am, even if I am a pain in certain people's tuchuses. But it's very interesting for me to see how different people work and what their favorite thing is of the work that they do. So yours is you enjoy doing the psychic supper. I keep coming to say spiritual supper, the same difference. The psychic supper, because you get to give that. It's kind of one-on-one, but it's not one-on-one. You still have people who can say yes or no. Now, do you still do, we'll say, one-on-one readings if somebody wants to book you on a reading through this show? Somebody says, I think Jon was so hot. Then we'll have to say, okay, ask Teresa first.
Yes, no, I still do one-to-one readings. I do love one-to-one readings. I love everything about what I do. I love the psychic suppers. I love the one-to-one readings. I do love the demonstrations as well. I love working the churches. The churches are good because you've got that energy, that spiritual energy is there, and it's been there and it's being used week in, week out. So it's lovely. I do really love doing the church services. It's more of a challenge when you're doing the demonstrations because you're in completely different places that obviously haven't got that energy already built up in there. Yeah. So you're working with different energies. You're working with people that don't go to the churches. You're working with skeptics. There's all different kinds of stuff that's going on in that room, and everybody else's emotions and so on and so on. So sometimes it can be difficult. It can be a lot harder, but it's very challenging. Which is also good. And when you've got that information that comes out and, people said that was a really great night, we really enjoyed it, and everybody's getting something from other people's messages as well, is really nice. Psychic suppers, yeah, I do love those. The house parties as well, which are really, really nice ones to do. Very similar to at the psychic supper, but somebody else's house. I like to call them psychic parties, which can get quite busy. You can do about, I normally say to people about 7 or 8 people maximum. Well, we do straight mediumship, so I'll be sat in a chair in front of everybody, and I'll do straight mediumship for everybody. Madam, coming to you, so and so here, da da da. Normally for about an hour, for about an hour and a half. Then we'll take a break for half an hour. They can have something to eat and to drink, and then we do private one-to-one mini readings after that. And they're really nice because you're in their house with their energies, you know, and you can give more information as well. So you're not stuck to the church thing. You know, you can talk about different things that they might be interested in. They can ask questions, you know, of what they want to ask and so on. So they're really nice evenings to do.
Have you ever had Scott, after the book, what's next on your agenda, or don't you know yet?
That's a great question. I'm very, very lucky. I'm a very, very, very lucky person to know a little bit about my future. The seed has been sown with me ever since I first started this, from my first day of meditation, which is really, really cool. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to say, but all will be revealed soon. So at the moment, all I'm doing at the moment is I'm just taking every day as it goes. I do the events, the demonstrations. I just help people wherever I can. Is my thing. And I just let spirit sort of push me in the right direction as such. And I just keep moving forward, really. I don't look back. I keep doing my little blogs and things, in my book, you know, just keep adding little bits here and there, and my experiences, and I just keep having loads more great experiences.
Scott's got a question there. Again, I'm not understanding. So when you're sitting in the cabinet and going all physical, could you translate that to Canadian, please? When are you?
Yes, I see what you mean, yes. Interesting. We have, at Teresa's house, we have this lovely little meditation room. There is a guy that I do that does physical mediumship, and it blows me away. It is the most amazing thing. It puts everything on a completely different level when you go and see proper physical mediumship. And the first time I saw it, I just couldn't believe what I'd like to say seeing, even though it was in a dark room. I was just blown away. I even dragged Teresa down to London. I said, you've got to come and see this. It was mad. For spirit to be physically in that room, touching you, squirting water in your face, rolling trumpets around right in front of your eyes, it was just mind-blowing. But yes, thank you very much for sitting in the cabinet and going physical. I'm still working on the sort of trance side of things. I've got to a point in the sort of trance that made me feel a little bit uncomfortable, and I need to get through that to the other side. But yeah, physical would be awesome, absolutely awesome.
Scott says, when you were telling about your early experience, it sounds like you were manifesting and doing it.
So when was what? When I was telling you about early experiences?
When the chips were flying and the doors were opening, and that it was you.
Oh, it was me. Oh, it definitely wasn't me. It was, yeah.
Not the chips flying at you by yourself, it would have landed in your mouth so you could eat it, not on the sofa so you could make mess.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, you know, working in the cabinet and physical, I have sat in the cabinet before. It was a wonderful experience. There wasn't a major lot of stuff that went on with me as such, but yeah, there are a couple of different things very much like that are coming in the future. But as and when it fully happens and manifests, then yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
That's okay. We will have you back on. Not a problem.
I'd love to. I'd absolutely love to.
You just open up that little box, and I get to peek into it. And we're going to have you back for the book. That's definite. Once I get the copy of it, I can read it. It takes me a while to read books, but I read them. Then we'll have you back when the other things come that are not to be spoken of, but you know exactly what's happening. I don't like secrets. That's what they're kept from me.
It's one of those that nobody knows. I was shown very, very early on, and I've had to keep my mouth shut on this one.
Oh,
nobody.
Have you not even told Teresa?
No, nobody knows.
You're
it's just me. Oh my God, yeah. It's very important.
Yeah, it is. It is. As much as I tease you, yes, I understand that. But I also like to tease people, so that's part of me, part of my fun. Okay, since we only have about half an hour left, if anybody else has any questions, chime in now. If anybody has any mediumship questions, can they ask? Or if you see anything or get anything in the process, just feel free to chime in and poke somebody. Just be gentle. Because there are a few people in there who I'd like to... Never mind, he's gone. And there's one that's not in here yet, just waking up. We're not going to say who that is, Brian. But Nell would like to know if you have anything for her. But a quick question from Scott. How do you cope with other mediums out there whose towering egos, who mention how short a time you have been working?
Wow, yes. That's a really, really good question. I've come across a few people that egos are very, very big. Or let's just say are jealousy. In the spiritual movement, as much as we feel that everything's all love and light, there is a hell of a lot of jealousy out there. And with me, my path has been very, very quick. With the work. Like I said, I was so lucky. Normally in the UK, apparently so I was told when I first started, that to do a divine Sunday service, you have to have years behind you. Years. I was pushed by spirit to do it within a year. And even the guy that was we can call him my mentor, I suppose, my teacher, my coach, whoever, was very, very jealous of the fact that I had done this within a year. It was spirit absolutely perfect again. It was a Sunday afternoon. It was a church that I used to go to in Rugby all the time. And they rang me up on a Sunday afternoon at about 5:00 and said, "John, what are you doing?" I said, "I've just got back." She says, "We've been let down for tonight's service. Would you come and do it?" And I'm like, "Seriously?" And my guide's coming in my ear going, "Go and do it, go and do it." I was like, "Okay, I'll come and do it." So I thought, I've got to give him a ring. And they go, "No, don't ring him. Just go and do it." I was like, right, okay. So I got my stuff together, went over to Rugby, didn't even have time to be nervous or scared. I was going to say something else then. But I just, yeah. I didn't have time to crap myself. I just went, and I got there, and they said that everybody was sat in the church already. And she said, "Do you want to have a couple of minutes?" I said, "Yes, please." So I went and sat in this room for a couple of minutes, and I did my prayers and my opening up, and I said, "Oh my goodness, am I really doing this? Can you come and help me with everything that I need to do this service?" This really big voice and this really big energy came in and said, "You've trained pretty much 24/7 for a whole year, all right, day in, day out, everything that I could have done, I did it." They said, "You've pretty much trained all this time, now go and do your job." And I was like, right, okay then. I walked in that church, and it was the most amazing thing ever. The information, it was just absolutely amazing. And I literally, I walked out of there, And I ran into the car park, and I was jumping with joy in the middle of the car park like a right nutter.
Good. It's what you got to do, what you were training to do, what you were meant to do, what you were breathing to do, what made your heart beat, what made your heart race. So why not?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. The information that was coming through as well was just, it was just mad. It was mind blowing stuff. And, I got straight on the phone afterwards to him, this guy, and I said, "You're never going to believe what I've just done." And he's going, "No, what have you done? What have you done?" I said, "I've just done a Sunday Divine Service." He went, "You what?" I said, "I've just done a Sunday Divine Service, and it was awesome. You shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that, this, that, and the other, you're not this, you're not that." He even rang the church and had a go at the church.
Oh, no.
Getting me, yeah, for doing it. And this guy was just, he was just a medium. But he put himself on this sort of pedestal, and it didn't stop there. It started getting worse and worse from there. He started holding me back because he could see how good I was getting, etc., etc. And he wanted to be the instigator of it all. He had a little bit of insight, obviously, because he helped me to start of what and where I'm going to go. Mm-hmm. So he wanted to be the one to do all that, if you know what I mean. I set him off on his own. I did all this with him, and I did all that. And I got a smack in the face. I really got a smack in the face, from him, which was such a shame. Spirit kept coming through to other mediums saying that somebody's holding you back, somebody's not got your best interest at heart, and so on and so on. And I thought, who is it? Who is it? No, it wouldn't be him. It wouldn't be him. I moved in with this guy, you know. I thought he was the all-knowing and all this, that, and the other. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Big mistake. Big mistake. So, yeah, I really got a kick up the arse from Spirit about him and the jealousy that was within him.
Yeah.
But yeah, great lessons.
But and I think in a way, it was meant. You needed that to happen because it might sound bizarre, but you saw the worst of the worst for you, so that you know that it will allow you to be the complete opposite. It's like when a child is being brought up by parents who are not all that, great, and they swear, "I will never be the parent that my parent is." So you will never be the coach, teacher, mentor that yours was. So you kind of learned what not to do.
Yes.
So
very much so.
Allows you to be the man that you are, and also allowed you to trust in yourself and your guides, etc. Okay,
yes, very much so. It certainly was an experience.
Yeah, but I think we all have to have our little moments, as much as they can hurt at the time. It's like. And I know it's kind of like it's a recording, everything happens for a reason. Fortunately, some people don't believe it. I do. I think that even the bad stuff that happens to us teaches us something. So like I said, that taught you what not to do, how not to be an egotistical little shit.
No, you're dead right. Yeah, and I think also one of the biggest lessons that I got from that in the end was forgiveness. Mm-hmm. And learning to forgive somebody that there was so much more that went on with that person as well, that it was to forgive somebody that would do and go as far as he did. I really didn't think that I could muster that forgiveness. But it's taught me in a way that I can, and I can forgive myself, for letting it happen, and also for things that did happen, So I do work in the love vibration with everything that I can, and to actually forgive on a level of that was really quite good. Mm-hmm. Very proud of myself for that one.
I am too, and I've just met you. I think you're awesome. Otherwise, if you're an egotistical little shit, you wouldn't be on this show. This is exactly why I have to speak to my guests before I actually have them on the show. Because if I can't get along with you for the 15, 20 minutes that we talk beforehand, How am I going to sit here and chat with you for 2 hours? It just doesn't work. And then I'll be like, shh, Jennifer, take over the show. Jennifer's going, hell no. Okay. I'm going to get back to Nell. Would you have anything for her? Does any spirit come through? Native Earth Lady, also known as Kathy. And a few other names that only I can call her. And maybe Missy D.
I do feel, yes, I have this lovely lady that draws in, and she's quite strong, this lady, because she's giving me almost like a pressure right on the top of my chest here, this lady. She's making my face very hot as well at the moment as well. She's a really strong energy as she comes in. She stands in front of me, and the way that she stands in front of me, she's sort of got her arms down a little bit, down to her sides. Okay, my love. I had a bit of an accent then. Where did that come from? Okay. She just seems to be standing there at the moment. She's got this lovely little face on her. Now, she's showing me this dark hair that she would have had, okay? I don't know whether this is earlier on in her life, because she's showing me with an older face, but this long dark hair. And it's almost going down my back as well, a good few inches down my back, and the way that she looks at me. She opens and closes her eyes, but I've got 2 shades of eye colour that's coming through with her. Because I'm getting the blue and the brown. So I don't know whether she had different colour eyes, or whether there was somebody in the family that has different colour eyes. But it's quite predominant with her. Okay, my love. Oh, she's just coming in quite close. Hang on a second. Okay. She's making me very aware of knees, and I seem to be going with both knees with this lady as well. Because I can see how the skin on her knees is, I'd like to, can I say that to you? I'd like to say sagging a little bit. My mum, yes, her eyes were different. Oh, bless you. Thank you very much for that. That's lovely. She's talking about the month of November as a birthday, passing, or an anniversary. So I hope you can understand the month of November. She's also taking me back into March. Where are we now? May, aren't we? I've got to go back into March as a birthday, passing, or anniversary as well. But she's also telling me a 1 and an 8. 1 and an 8. So I need to bring you around the 18th of a month. Not necessarily in those months, but it could be a different month, because she hasn't put the 2 together. Was she flicking a bag over her shoulder? Oh, my love. She's got this lovely smile on her face at the moment as well, like she's messing around. 18th, my dear dad's birthday. Lovely, thank you. She's flicking this bag over her shoulder like she's going to school. So is there something that you're going back to develop, something new that you want to learn? Because I feel that I want to go back to school, as I've got this bag going over my shoulder. And she's talking about trees. I'm a great one for nature, and I'm working on something brilliant. Thank you very much. She's talking about trees and stuff at the moment as well. And me with nature, I'm very much a nature person, and I love tree hugging and everything to do with nature. And I feel that I want to get out there, and I feel that I do want to actually do that tree hugging that we've just talked about. Okay, but why have I got to put a crystal or some rocks at the bottom of a tree? Is there one in your garden or where you are that you sit? Because I feel that I either put stuff there, or I want to put some rocks or crystals at the bottom of a certain tree. But I feel like I go to this tree. Okay. I'm so in love for nature. Lilac tree maybe. Lovely. Thank you. Okay. Okay. she's changing my footwear. Now, I know you've got on your thing of Native Earth Lady, but she's putting, like moccasins on the bottom, on my feet at the moment, moccasins. So I don't know whether you've got some or whether you've been looking at getting some, but I've got these lovely sort of brown, real sort of Native American, little moccasin shoes on. Okay. Okay, my love. We've all got things. Yes, after my operation, she bought me some. Ah, bless you. Thank you very much. She's bringing this lovely, lovely energy around you at the moment. I've also got to go around your right shoulder. What's going on with your right shoulder at the moment? Because I feel that I've sort of like, you know, when you fall asleep on your shoulder, and it really starts to ache a little bit. I've got this sort of weird aching going on my right shoulder, just like I've woken up and I've slept on my shoulder all night. So there's something going on around the shoulder. I hope this, if this is you or whether this was her, if you could let us know, that would be great. I'm also feeling as well, because I do feel a lot, obviously, as you can hear, the muscle in my right thigh as well. Feels like I've either pulled it or I've done some extra running, or something along there. Okay, my love. Both my arms numb, going to hands. Oh, bless you. Okay. I've got a lovely little ring. She has fibromyalgia. Oh, bless you. Well, we're going to send you a little bit of love and some healing tonight, if that's okay. Please let me know, and we can send you some before I go to sleep tonight. As I was rubbing my hand there, I was being very much drawn to my ring. This is a very, very special ring to me. So there must have been some jewellery that she'd left for you. Okay. If you haven't got that out recently, I do feel that I want to get that out, okay? Why do I feel that something needs to be fixed? A piece of jewellery that needs a bit of repair doing to it. If you could let us know about that, that would be fantastic, yes. And someone in the family stole it. Oh no. We'll see if you can get that back. Because I feel that you need to have that, your dad's ring. Okay, lovely, thank you. Thank you. She's absolutely lovely, this lady. She's like she's coming through with so much energy to give you. We know that there's so much more going on in the world at the moment, but I feel quite heavy around. I know we've already talked about the shoulders, but across the front here as well. And I feel that a lot of your things, problems that she's talking about is, I want to get it out. It's almost like I want to be sick, if you know what I mean. So I want to release everything that comes out of our body is a release of some sort. And she's making me feel like it's here, and I just want to get rid of the rest of it. You know. Okay. She's just going, come on. She's going, go on. I just got sick half hour ago. Oh no, bless you. Well, know that she was there, obviously watching you throwing up. Oh dear, she didn't hold your hair for you then, did she? Bless her.
Okay, just thought that.
Oh dear. So it is part of a release, okay? Everything that comes out of our body is a release, as we know, and just get it gone. Get it gone. You're going to have more different kind of releases, but this is great. This is what you need at the moment, okay? She's saying she's going doors, okay? So there's a couple of doors. We've all got opportunities. We've all got choices that come our way each and every day, but there are doors of opportunity for you. Okay, we all get that good old saying of one door closes, another one opens, all that kind of stuff. And it's true, you know, we all know it's true. But there's two doors, so there's obviously a choice, that you've got, okay? Neither of them is going to be the wrong one for you. It's just which one you decide to go through first. That is your choice. That's all part of our free will and choice. This lady, because she's going proud, okay? Proud. She's still doing it now, bless her. She's absolutely lovely. To know that she is very, very proud of you, okay? She's also making me wheeze a little bit with the chest and the way that I was breathing then as well. I felt like I needed to take an extra gulp of air, excuse me. She's making me burp now as well. Did she have problems with things repeating on her as well before she passed? You have the breathing problem. Okay, well you can keep that, thanks. I've got enough of my own problems at the minute. So are you having the repeating going on as well with certain things, or was this something that she had? She died of a heart attack. Okay. Okay, so that could have been the chest stuff earlier on there as well. Okay, all right, thank you. But she's a lovely lady. Know that she's around you, watching you being sick. And she's probably having a chuckle at you as well in the background as she's doing it. Okay. I've got to bring orange. She's talking about orange. Now, orange for me is emotions, okay? With the energies that are going on at the moment, you probably found yourself a little bit more emotional at the moment. Well, I think we were talking about this earlier, about how the week and the past few weeks have been sort of a little bit here, there and everywhere. But I feel that it's something that I can see something really happy happening, and all of a sudden I've got tears of joy. I can see something that's really sad, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, been crying a lot, bless you. Just ride it the best you can. It's all going to change. There's something coming. In the universe, something coming that's happening around this earth at the minute that's going to change. I don't know when it's going to change, but it is going to change soon. And this, I feel, is going to be a real turning point for you when this does happen. When I was doing Facebook Live the other night, I saw when I was doing the group card, there was a big flash of energy around the earth, and we were all encased within this earth. Within this flash and this energy. And that's what I felt then when they brought through was this change of what's been going on over the past few months. Because a lot of people have had a lot of stuff going on, whether they've been releasing things, whether they've been ill, they've had situations. And I feel this is with you as well. And this been crying a lot with your emotions. It will change. So just go with it the best, as you can. So we'll be protected for sure. Yes, definitely. Anything else, my love? Anything else? Well, she's dangling something. I know we talked about jewellery earlier, but why is she swinging a necklace? Why is she swinging a necklace like this? It's almost like she's got a necklace for a pendulum. Okay? You just seen that as well. Oh, that's right. Okay, but she's swinging some kind of necklace or some kind of pendulum, and it's quite a long one. Okay, so if you have one, fantastic. But I do feel it's a necklace. It's almost like I've taken mine off, my necklace, and used it as a pendulum. I have a pearl necklace. Okay, actually, thank you. Okay. She's still swinging this necklace. Oh, it's her pearl necklace. Okay, lovely, thank you. Use it as a pendulum. Hold it and see what she does. She'll move that for you. Okay. I have this brief image now that comes into my head of lots of horses. If you can imagine yourself in the old Wild West, and the horses are all sort of running off they call it a herd, aren't they? There's a herd of horses, isn't it? Yeah. This herd of horses just going off with all the dust going off into the distance. That's the image that she's given me at the moment. Okay, so why have you given me that, love? Okay. We all do that great thing of holding ourselves back just a little bit. And she wants you to just be as free as those horses. And do whatever it is that you want to do. Because you can. And it's one of my great old sayings, I'm sure a lot of people heard it before, is, I am, I can. Wild horses. Thank you. Yes, wild horses. I am, I can. And she wants you to know that you can do whatever you want to do. Whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. Alright? I'm going to leave this lovely lady's love with you and all of her energy, because she's going to make her way back to you. With a little bit of upliftment and lots of love. Alright? Thanks for working with me. Bless you.
Thank you for that. That was a very dear friend to me. And I know that. I'm sitting here going, yes, yes, yes. Oh, that was very nice. Thank you very much. Again, this has been a very interesting show. It leads me into much, much more to keep continuing with you. And if I get on your nerves, tough. No, okay.
No, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been really nice. Sometimes it's hard sometimes, especially when you're talking about yourself. Even though I do get people ask questions, but not sort of about all the other stuff as well, which is nice, Mm-hmm. So it's been lovely. It's really been something different, because I used to do my own show mm-hmm. quite a while ago, and I used to be the interviewee as such, or the interviewer. So it's been a little bit different.
I've been to quite a few shows, and I know that when people go, okay, I've got a medium coming on, that everybody will be calling in for mediumship readings or card readings or whatever the host is. But I like to find out just a little bit more. And I was like, there was a lovely lady. She's an awesome medium, but nobody really paid focus. She's an awesome painter as well. And so I had her on, and I didn't want to hear anything about readings or nothing. I said, let's talk about your painting. So I'm kind of like, I'll let you go, but these are things that I'm going to find out. It's like, I'm going to find out about family. I'm going to find out about your paintings. I'm going to, so, and Teresa will be coming on. And Teresa, she's going, I'm not adding her on Facebook. No. Wait.
She's looking at me now with these eyes as if to say, I know what you're talking about.
She should have come into the chat room. We could have given her the link. She could have been in the chat room, and she could have given us some good information that I could have picked on you for. I have my
own. Yeah. Well, I did put the link up actually, and she said she was going to try and follow it, but obviously couldn't get in. No, she couldn't.
Next time. Told her to come in when Scott's show next week, and she can help me pick on him too.
Yes, definitely. No, she'd love that.
Well, I'm going to let you go because it's the end of my show, and I have been summoned to do a few things. So, you're not a wimp, trust me. Again, when the book is done, let me know. Mind you, I'll be poking you until it's done. Is it done? It's done. Is it done?
It's in work in progress. It's going to be a long time before it's done, because there's so much more that needs to go in it. And there's even with where it is now, there's going to be quite a few, if you know what I mean. So I need somebody that's going to come in and say, right, let's have a look at what you've done. Okay, you've got 2 or 3 different stories here in the whole one, if you know what I mean. So I need somebody eventually. Apparently someone's going to present themselves that's going to do all that for me. Because I'm great at just putting it down, but if you know what I mean, I'm not perfect at stuff like that. I'll just say it as it is.
There is one lady in this chat room that has a couple of books of her own out there, so you never know. She might just, sort of like pop up and go, oh, this is where you should go.
Brilliant. That would be lovely.
Well, I will say goodnight to you, and Amazon. Free and easy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure.
And we will talk to you again very, very soon. I thank you. Everybody in the chat room, for those of you who are still here, for those of you who have left, Jennifer, Brian, it's nice to see you. It's too bad I should still kick your butt out of the chat room by now. Missy D, Fellini, Miss Gemini Moon, Jackie, Marie, Native Earth Lady, and Scott. We will see you all next week when I have Scott on the hot seat. I love you all. Say goodnight, Jennifer.
Good night.
Say goodnight, Brian. Brian, say goodnight.
Have a really good day.
Love you, Brian. Talk to you all soon.